So what do we have here? Well, this is a new product from Vivid Creative Aquatics. It's a vacuum attachment that's meant to attach to a pump like this so that you can clean out your sump. That's right. There's all kinds of bits and pieces in here, but all you need is this pump and the Vivid Creative Aquatics vacuum attachment. And pretty soon, oh, and a hose. Can't forget the hose. And pretty soon you will be able to suck the crud out of your sump like a pro. Let's go see how this works. A little while ago in one of my videos, I showed you how my sump was getting dirty again. Besides that, I also needed to swap out some Miracle Mud. The stuff's been in there for just over a year. I have 2 trays, and it was time to remove one and replace it with new stuff. First things first, let's get everything out of here except the skimmer. Okay, so you can see all of the messy crud that's everywhere in here. There was a huge cloud of ugly that popped out of the pebbles, the matrix, when I pulled it out, but because I shut off the flow, none of it got into this section. So I'm not going to be pumping horrible dirty water back into my tank. I'm not going to make that mistake again. Because I'm concerned about the pebbles, I really don't want to risk them going in and causing problems with the pump. I've come up with this. It's basically 2 pieces of black egg crate, and I've twist tied them together so they're offset. The idea is that there won't be any places on here that the holes will be big enough for the pebbles to get right through to the pump. So it's kind of big, so I don't know how it's going to work. I'm going to set it down right in here and basically vacuum through it. I'm going to start by moving as much of that stuff into the front corner as I can. You can see it's kind of stirring up the muck. There's also a considerable amount of algae on the bottom. I'm going to scrape that too. So here's my long-handled razor blade scraper, and I use a bulldog clip to protect the blade so I don't accidentally cut myself and to keep it from getting damaged while it's being stored. A lot of this algae was coralline algae, so it was on there really solid. I started thinking, maybe I need a sea urchin down here.
Eventually.
Okay, so let's get these pebbles up here. And the whole goal here is to get this dirty water out of here before turning everything back on, because I really don't want it up in the top of the tank. Let's see what happens. All right, so there's my waste jar. It took quite a lot of messing around to get this thing to actually kind of almost work. The egg crate was really buoyant and kept wanting to float up, as you can see, but ultimately I did manage to get a fair amount of crud vacuumed through the screen without getting the pebbles jammed up inside the vacuum head. I didn't want them to get up into the pump, so it was pretty amazing how this worked. It worked almost too well because it kind of took me by surprise how fast this jar filled up. I had to drop everything and turn off the switch, but not quite in time to avoid an overflow. The water looked pretty murky, and the sump was starting to look pretty clean. All right. Yeah, this one I'm going to stop much sooner because that was quite the overflow I had. I don't know what it is, but this is a weirdly soothing task. It felt so satisfying to get that gunk off of the bottom, and I was able to even scrape some more algae. I have to say a huge thank you to Antonio at Vivid Creative Aquatics for making it possible for me to get this as a gift. because I won a gift card from VCA on one of Dave's Nanotank's live streams. It was the Saturday night before Christmas episode, which had a ton of giveaways, and I was lucky enough to win a $65 gift card. And this is one of the things I bought with it. One of the things I was really looking forward to trying out. Vivid Creative Aquatics also invented the random flow generator nozzle. I have these in both of my tanks and I absolutely love them, and I was able to pick up a couple of those for Mollywood. I'll show more of that on a later video, so I'll put a link in the description if you want to check them out. I want to show you what happens when stuff does get sucked up into the neck of the vacuum attachment. This is Kato, and it doesn't go into the pump. It just kind of stops there. You can tell it's plugging up because the water that comes out slows to a trickle. So I'll just clean that out. All right, so we have 10 gallons removed and things are looking pretty clean here. I've deliberately left that coralline algae right there. I don't think it's hurting anything, and I don't see the need to try and get right in under there and start scraping. So I'm just gonna leave it alone for now. And now it's time to put it all back together, and then I can add the new salt water. There's the new basket of Miracle Mud. I've removed one of the 2 trays that were in there for over a year, and I'm going to put this one on the bottom and the older one on the top, and then when I have to swap that one out, it'll be a lot easier. So there's the new Miracle Mud, the old Miracle Mud, a bag of matrix pebbles, and the rack of matrix pebbles. And now here comes the new salt water. After I finish the job, I put everything away neat and tidy, ready for the next time. The silicone hose belongs with the water change set up for Mollywood, so it's not in here, but it's easy to borrow back. Good to go. Here we are the next morning, and you can see the water is crystal clear. The bottom is as clean as I could get it. None of the crud got into the main tank. I couldn't see anything coming out the return nozzle as the water was coming back, so all I can do is hope. Like anything with a reef tank, you do your best, but in the end, it's a crapshoot. Thanks for watching, and stick around through the end of the outro for a bit of a surprise. The contest prize from K-Reef Aquarium Hobby arrived, and here it is. Awesome t-shirt, really good quality, the fabric is really nice, some crab cuisine, I'm definitely going to try it out, and some Aquametic air stones, wooden air stones, which always come in handy, especially when you do bubble scrubbing. Thank you, Kevin, for getting this out to me. It was worth the wait, I have to say. And there's the back. I think that's really great. Appearing on camera in a video is way outside my comfort zone, but here's a selfie wearing the t-shirt.